If you're watching comedy or something funny, it is better and funnier if you're with other people who also laugh. We take cues from each other. They laugh, that makes you laugh, that makes them laugh. And it's a similar phenomenon that if you're in a political rally or something like that and everyone else is clapping and seems to be believing what the speaker's saying, then that will accentuate any belief you have for what the speaker's saying. You will clap harder because they're clapping, and they'll clap harder because you are. We're very social beings, and communication and sharing beliefs is part of, in fact, the socialization that we have. And it doesn't necessarily have to be that we're all in the same room for those, if you like, socializing effects to occur. I see friends sitting at home, clicking likes on Facebook to things that have been posted by other people. And they're not just in an echo chamber of people who they happen to like, happen to share their beliefs. The very act of clicking like appears to be gratifyingly expressing the togetherness that they feel. It's almost an act of friendship. Now, all of this augurs rather badly for truth. Just as in a comedy club, you don't stop to say, actually, that wasn't very funny, was it? But we're all laughing. You don't sit in a political rally and say, was that really true what he said? No, your critical faculties tend to get overridden by the collective will of the crowd. It is no coincidence that a lot of concern about post-truth and lies and people swallowing things gullibly, all of this concern coincides with a really fraught and divided time for Western societies politically. There's a very tribal thing going on at the moment. People are feeling that their allegiance and which side they're on really matters, perhaps more than it did in the 2000s. And because it really matters, they're willing to swallow stuff that suits their side or their argument because it's just part of the socialization of their gang. Some people think the link between post-truth and identity politics, it's that liars come and lie to us and they divide us with their lies. That may be true up to a point, but I think it's the other way around to a large extent. We're divided, and that makes lies much more appealing because we just want the lies that our side say. We're not going to critique them because it's very important for us to show our allegiance. Now, I think this has a number of really quite interesting implications. One is that if you want to avoid this kind of groupthink, you have to remain particularly open-minded, and you want to make sure that whatever group you're in has some independent thinkers who are constantly challenging the assertions of your group. You want to make sure that you're not using belief in false propositions as a way of making friends. That's not a great idea. And above all, if we want a society that is, if you like, less prone to believe things that are kind of not true, we actually have to have a society where the divisions are healed, because it's the divisions that make us accept a lot of the bullshit that we're fed.